For this video, we're doing just a little bit of homework help on the momentum problems here. Remember, this is broken down into two parts. The first part, you need to use the momentum equation, P equals mv. For part 2, you need to use the equation m1v1 equals m2v2. So I'm going to go through and do one for each part. For part 1, I'll pick one where you have to rearrange the equation, and for part 2, you always have to rearrange the equation, so I'll just pick one. Alright, so for part 1, let's do question 2 here. So there's our base equation. In question 2, it says an impulse of 20 kilograms times meters per second. Impulse, that is also momentum. That's another word for it. So this impulse acts on the particle in problem 1 in the same direction as the velocity. What's the final velocity of the particle? So for this problem, you've got to use the mass from problem 1. Don't use the velocity because remember that's what we're solving for, and then they give you momentum in the problem here. So if we're looking for velocity, we have to rearrange this equation. What we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by m to get v by itself. And so now our equation is momentum, v equals momentum divided by mass. Alright, so now let's figure out all this information. So we're looking for velocity. Our momentum is 20 kilograms times meters per second. And our mass, from problem 1, is 10 kilograms. So we're going to set it up as v equals 20 over 10. And then calculate for the answer. So as you've kind of experienced in the last few homework help videos for worksheets, I only go as far to set it up for you. You can do the math then and write down the answer. I just want to walk you through the steps on how to rearrange the equations and get you on the right track to the right answers. So now let's go through one question in problem 2. Let's do the first one. So remember, our base equation for this is m1v1 equals m2v2. And the problem says, traveling at 30 miles per hour, a Toyota Land Cruiser, which weighs 800 kilograms, rear-ends a Toyota Corolla, which weighs 600 kilograms. So what's the resulting velocity of the Corolla? So we know m1v1 and we know m2. We are looking for v2. So let's divide both sides by m2 to get v2 by itself. So it's going to be v2 equals m1 times v1 over m2. Alright, so this is the equation that you're going to use for this problem. And now let's figure out all the pieces of information. Well, we're looking for v2. And we know m1, which is the mass of the cruiser. So this is 800 kilograms. We know the velocity of the cruiser, it's 30 miles per hour. And we know the mass of the Corolla, which is 600 kilograms. And we are looking for the velocity of the Corolla. So we're going to set this up and put all the pieces of information in the equation. So v2 equals, it's going to be 800 times 30 divided by 600. Doing the math, that'll get you. So now all you have to do is do the math. This is the setup, and this is kind of generally what most of the problems are going to look like. You're going to have to rearrange the equation for one of the variables. You can do this before you put the numbers in, like I have done, or you can do it after you put the numbers in. Either way works. You still get to the same endpoint. So hopefully this helped out a little bit, helped get you back on the right track. If you still have questions and you're not sure what to do, please send me an email and we can get this all figured out for you. All right, have a great day. Enjoy your momentum problems.